to Chats from the Blog Cabin. I'm here with Stephanie from Restored for Moms. And Stephanie, I want to tell you a little bit about how I learned about your organization. If you saw the picture in the intro, that's a picture of Molly Stillman and I taking the first time I ever went to Restored for Moms, and I learned about Restored for Moms through Molly speaking. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, first of all, Molly's awesome. We love her at Restored, and she is just a gift. So I'm so glad that you heard about Restored through her. So about me, well, my name is Stephanie Lorente, like you said, and I do a couple of different things. So I grew up, I'm in North Carolina. I'm sure your audience is kind of all over, but I grew up in North Carolina and went to school at NC State. Go Wolfpack. And when I got out of school there, I was able to start working for a public relations agency that I had interned at. And they taught me so much. So I do PR, and I also am the owner of this company called Restored that supports working moms. So NC State kind of pushed me into that, not pushed me, but guided me into a career in public relations. And I'm able to use some of those skill sets, actually, in my second business with Restored.
So tell us a little bit about Restored. Is it just for working moms, or is it for moms in general?
So what I like to tell people is that it is a company that is geared towards working moms. Like, working moms are our core focus. We are passionate and obsessed over working moms. But if you are a stay-at-home mom, or if you are somebody who's interested in some of the things that we're looking at and talking about, then come on, we are by no means going to shoo you out the door. So we are mom-centric and just laser-focused on working moms.
Now, what exactly does Restored for Moms do?
Good question. So for working moms, it's really hard to cultivate a community for yourself outside of your family and your coworkers. And so we cultivate that community for working moms and provide a lot of resources and things to help working moms thrive.
And like, what kind of resources are you talking about?
Yeah. So the thing that we started with, and kind of our bread and butter, is what we call our table talk events. And so normally, outside of a COVID-19 scenario, normally we are able to meet in person. And that's actually what you came to with Molly that time. And so the biggest thing that working moms are kind of craving or missing out on is this sense of community, and we're able to cultivate some of that through in-person events. It's not networking, but it is a place to just kind of get to know others in your same season of life, and be able to encourage each other in your motherhood journey and that kind of thing. So one resource, to answer your question, one resource is our table talk events. Another thing that we've started doing more recently, offering some digital options, is what we're calling Ask the Expert sessions. And so these things will bring in speakers on things that working moms care about. A lot of just any mom really would care about these, like finances, or summer childcare. What are we supposed to do? Like, we can't send our kids to track out camp because like a lot of those are closed, preschools are closed. So what do we do for summer childcare? We'll bring in experts and then host an event kind of like this, like a virtual event where people can ask questions, and the experts there are central. Another thing we're doing more recently too is, I'll say over the past few months, is Bible study. So one place we're Restored, I call it a differentiator, is we are supportive of moms in their community and being wives, being workers, being spouses, but really the element that across the board is most supportive for moms is supporting them in their faith and all of those multiple roles that multiple hats that they wear. So one thing that we've started doing is a virtual Bible study. We've done Philippians, we've covered Colossians. We're going to probably offer a third one in the fall. Summer is just a nice time for people to take a little break from stuff. But yeah, so those are some of the resources. We're also putting out digital content on our Facebook pages, our Instagram pages, whether it's an article. I think today I posted one on Facebook. It's just like this mom showing real life, like, here's what it's really like to work from home. And her kids are like peppering her with questions and things like this. So just kind of showing that real life mom life.
I love how you were able to pivot a little bit during COVID and start offering the Bible studies that you probably wouldn't have offered, otherwise, the virtual. And we have actually Patty Chamley said she loves the virtual Bible studies. And I do too. I actually kind of can come on all the time with Colossians, but I did do Philippians and I got so much out of Philippians. It was just amazing. And I'm glad you're going to do one again in the fall.
Yeah, that we've had such a good response to those. And it's hard. It is so hard for working moms to get to all the things. Their attention is diverted in so many different directions. Their time is in such high demand. And so by no means are we like, if you sign up for this one thing, you have to come and you can't come back if you don't come to the one thing. Because it's impossible for working moms to do all of that. So when we put the Bible study out there, we said, well, we'll open up, this is the first one, the Philippians one that you did. We'll open up a few slots and see if people are interested and want to come, because that's one of our core values is the Christian faith. And so we want to support moms in that. And it filled up in less than 24 hours. So we said, okay, people are interested in this, and we'll try and offer a second one with the same content. So we did another one back-to-back nights, and that filled up. And so it's been, I think it's a really nice option for moms who right now, especially in this scenario where there's, quarantine and we're all working from home and we're here a lot with our families. It's a nice, which has been good, but like, it's a nice option to kind of get outside of your home without getting outside of your home, and to discuss things that are meaningful and that impact every other aspect of your life.
Yeah. So how did Restore for Moms come about? Tell me a little bit about the history of it.
Good question. Unique history. And so I used to work in what I call corporate land, filled with cubicles and offices, and which I loved my job. I worked for the world's largest turkey producer and doing their public relations for a number of years, and loved the people I worked with, loved the work that I did, really enjoyed just the opportunities it afforded me. What happened when I was there was I had 2 kids, and they were super flexible with me. They were really kind. As I explored like how to be a mom on my own. And what I realized I was kind of needing was this sense of community outside of my work, outside of my family. And because when you're a working mom, the first thing to drop is friendships. You just don't have time to meet people for coffee and all this stuff. So, but it's good to do those things. And so as I'm sitting in my cubicle wondering like, hey, how should I don't know, fill in the blank, think about childcare. How should I do this best for my kid? Can I have a play date this weekend? All of those things. There are lots of mom groups that address that stuff, but the majority of them meet at 9:30 in the morning or 10 a.m. And, if it's a Bible study or whatever. And when you're a working mom, you can't get to that. Most of the time, unless you have a super flexible schedule. So I started thinking, gosh, I would really like this resource for myself. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, this girl who I did not know at the time, her name is Allie. She's wonderful. She was thinking the same thing. And so long story short, we kind of joined forces and created this thing that had a different name at the time. And Allie was blessed to be, she's about to have her 3rd child. And so she's taken some time to go and do that. And I said, well, gosh, if she's going to go do that, I'm still super passionate about this. And so I moved forward with it on my own with Allie's full support. And so so Restored has just kind of developed into this thing that I needed, she needed, and so many other moms have really bought into.
And you're coming up on a big birthday, right?
Yes. Yeah. So funny story. So in March, the business itself turned 3. And we had a huge celebration planned. It was going to be amazing. And then we went into lockdown. And so we couldn't really celebrate. So we've had to reschedule it. It's now going to be July 31st is our big, it was birthday party. We're now just calling it like a summer soiree. It's a mom's night out, really. There's it's all the same stuff we were going to do in March, but shifted to summer. So It's going to be so fun. Vendors like dry bars come in to do hair. My friend Caroline, who makes these earrings, she has a company called Pearson Hyde. They're coming to sell earrings. There's girls coming to sell stationery and clothing and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so they're going to come and sell things. We have wine, we have food, we have a wonderful space. It's at the Greenhouse Picker Sisters just in Raleigh. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Last time we had, I want to say, I don't know, 50, 75 people there. This year we were hoping for more. We'll see what this COVID-19 thing does, though.
Do you have backup plans just in case? Because I saw today that we may go back down on lockdown again.
I read that article too. Yeah, I read that article too. So we're noodling on ways that we can still have an celebratory experience while making people feel very safe and honoring the things that we want to celebrate, and still giving moms some time off to have some me time.
Yeah, because moms definitely need time off now.
Yes, girl. Yes. We do. And it's, I'm really fortunate, I feel like, because I've worked from home for a while now. My husband also works from home for a while. He's been doing that ever since we've had our first child. And so we've kind of had this work from home system kind of down. But I look around at the mom circles that I'm in, and just some things that I follow online, and I go, oh my gosh, if I was still in the corporate workplace, what a shift that would be to go from, being able to do your thing in a different space that's away from your kids, away from your dog, away from your spouse, away from the laundry pile and the dishes, and then kind of to be in it all the time. It's a shift. It's a big shift. And so, yes, I can empathize for sure.
Honestly, I can't imagine ones with littles. I mean, my daughter is a senior in high school. Well, she basically, like we said before, she basically has graduated. She's like, I'm done. But I can't imagine the ones with littles now having to try to balance work and them being home all the time, because they're constantly wanting your attention 100% of the time, and you can't always give it to them, especially if you have to work at home. So
yes, it's so true. And there's this guilt that is so real for moms, because when let's pretend you're going to an office still, there's this guilt that's there because you're leaving them. You're either dropping them off at daycare, even if you're dropping them off with a grandparent, it's not you that's with them. And so there's this incredible amount of guilt that comes with that. But now that everybody's, drawn towards home, there's also guilt there too, because like you said, they want your attention. They deserve your attention. I'm sorry if a kid walks in, I hear them out there. They need their mamas and their daddies. And oh no, that's my dog. So, but even our dogs need our attention, right?
Exactly.
But there's this guilt when you're like, no, I'm on a deadline. I have to do this for my boss. For me, I do public relations, right? So I'm like, I have to get this story into this reporter by a particular time. And it just, there's a guilt kind of either way you go. And I know stay-at-home moms have a level of guilt too that they're dealing with as well.
Yeah, I can actually, from both sides. When my older two girls were born, I was able to stay home, especially with my second one when she was born. But then I went back to work when my third one started preschool, and I had that guilt of, and I got it from both sides. Like, oh, when you're working, oh, well, you have time out with other people. And then when you're not working, oh, you have all this time to yourself. And I'm like, no, I don't have that. You still have that 3, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, or up to age 15, 16, you still have them constantly asking you, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I eat this? I want something to eat. I want that. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? I think that's the number one question is what's for
food,
dinner.
always food. Yeah.
Always food.
Yeah. And it's, and there's so many struggles like that are not unique to a working mom or unique to a stay-at-home mom. There's so many things that we all love our families. We all want the best for each other, and we all want to lift each other up. And there's so many things that cross over. I think there's intricacies with each one, like what is the struggles and the guilt associated with being a working mom. are slightly different than those associated with being a stay-at-home mom. But it's still guilt. It's still something that, a restorer will say, that the Lord addresses guilt. He addresses shame. He addresses all of these things across the board. There is no one place where he talks about like the working mom should do this and the stay-at-home mom should do that. No. So we're just like cheerleaders for moms in general, and then a lot of our content is just geared towards the intricacies of working moms.
I love how you said cheerleaders for moms, because I honestly think moms need cheerleaders. I mean, they're probably the most overwhelmed and underrated people in the United States.
Yes, yes. And you know what? One thing I've always said too, and I feel like this is just true, like to my core, and I feel like it is biblically true as well. We are absolutely cheerleaders for working moms, but I never want to forget that so many working moms have spouses that are their cheerleaders too. And there's a lot of mom or like women, I'll say women centric things you can read or communities or organizations that man bash, and we don't ever want to be part of that. We have spouses that are doing the best that they can. We're doing the best that we can, and they have their own battles that they're fighting too, or they just look a little different between moms and dads. So we want to be cheerleaders for moms, but we at the same time want to be maybe not cheerleaders isn't the best word, but affirm the dads as well.
Yeah, that's true, because I mean, the dads are majority of the time, the dads are the major breadwinners. So they're out there pulling what they can, working longer hours, probably longer work hours, time paid hours than moms do most of the time, because, moms work longer hours as well, but sometimes they're not, it's off the clock. When they get home, it's like dinner, dishes, laundry, everything like that. So definitely.
Yeah. It depends on the role. We have several moms who are intense participants in Restored that are like, they have stay-at-home husbands, and vice versa. There's those roles go both ways. I think it just depends on your career and moms. But I love what you said about moms who are basically doing two full-time roles. You've got your job that you get paid for, and then you get off the clock and you come home and you get your job you don't get paid for. I mean, you get paid in hugs and kisses, right? But you don't get paid to, be a short order cook most nights, or I got like 2 loads of laundry going downstairs right now, right? You don't get paid for that, but you do, hopefully you get appreciated for that. But a lot of times, what I've found when I talk to our moms that participate in Restored is that I don't know if you know a whole lot about the love languages book, it's different. There's like 5 different love languages, but a husband will speak words of affirmation to his wife, like, hey, thanks for doing the laundry, or thanks for doing the dishes. But the wife's love language might be quality time. So a lot of times they're like passing ships in the night when they don't feel appreciated because they're not receiving the love language that they like the most. But the husband, they're trying.
Yeah, my husband is words, telling him he's doing a great job. Mine is like, you show me, mine are acts of love. Mine are like, do the laundry for me today. That would be great, instead of just.
Yes, we're opposite. My husband is acts of service and mine is words of affirmation. Tell me I'm doing a good job, and I'm like, I will replay it in my head the rest of the day. And he's like, take out the trash. And that's awesome.
Now, I'm not, by no means am I bashing anyone that their husbands stay at home, because actually, if they have a choice to do that, oh my God, that would be awesome, because the dads get to see, get to be a full-time part of their children's lives. But by no means am I bashing that. So I wanted to make sure people were clear that, what works for your relationship. Every relationship is different. Every marriage is different. Every parent, being a parent, is different. You can have 3 children and they're totally different. Like, all 3 of my kids are totally different, as I'm sure yours are too, in personality wise.
So different. Like, they couldn't be more different, but it's good. It keeps us on our toes, right?
Yeah, totally on your toes. Now, tell me a little bit more. Let's go back to your soiree. Is there a cost for that?
Yeah. So it is $25, and that includes, like, when you pay the $25, you get your ticket to get in. You get a glass of wine if you drink wine. If not, we have other beverages there as well. You'll have appetizers and a ticket there's so many giveaways, y'all. There are so many amazing local North Carolina companies that have contributed giveaways. I mean, everything from like facials to free babysitting memberships to babysitting services. I mean, it's just, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to win this stuff. I can't, I won't, I want to win this. So anyway, there's a raffle ticket included with that. So I think it's a pretty sweet deal and plus you just get a night out. If we're able to host it, you get a night out with your friends, or to meet new friends, which is part of the mission, right? Like, let's meet new people that can support us in our roles as moms, and our roles as employees or business owners, and our roles as spouses, and see that kind of come to life. And the Bible talks a lot about community, and a lot of what I've realized through learning from other moms in Restored is so often moms feel so isolated and like alone in this struggle to feel like you're doing a good job as a mom. And so they feel alone because you might not be able to talk to your immediate family members about what you're feeling or thinking as a mom. You probably don't want to talk to a lot of your coworkers about that, because maybe it seems less than professional, or maybe you're not that close with the people that you work with. And like I said earlier, those friendships are the first things to drop. And so it's so good to come to either an event, to connect via Zoom or virtual something, and just meet like-minded women that are in the same boat with you. And I know that's happened so many times where women might come either by themselves, or maybe they bring a friend or something, but they'll meet somebody sitting at their table. And the next thing you know, they're like meeting up to go for runs together, or their kids are having play dates. Or I just love hearing these stories. Let me just tell you one story that I heard. Is that okay if I tell you a little? Okay. So one of the girls that had started coming to Restored, I had no idea of this until recently. One of the girls who started coming to Restored, it's her first time, and I think she enjoyed herself, came back, met another girl at Restored. Well, I emailed her for something. I can't remember what it was. I didn't even know that she had met this other mom there. And she said, "Hey, I just want to tell you," and her email response to me, "I just want to tell you, I have been going through this season of life that's been very difficult. And but my friend," I'll leave their names out of this, but my new friend has been able to walk me through it. She's been there with me. She's been there to affirm me. She's been there for me to cry to. And I just want you to know that I met that friend through Restored." And I was like, done. That's it. It's worth it. It's all worth it.
Did it bring tears to your eyes?
Oh my gosh, I'm about to cry right now just talking about it, because that is what it's about. And so many women feel like they don't have that connection of somebody that can just support them. And it's not an official mentorship program or anything like that. It's just like, who do you connect with? Okay, cool. Get their phone number, text them tomorrow if you want. I mean, there's no pressure to do any of that. It's just come and have a good time, learn a little something, and be around others who you like to engage with. So
now, this is just for local Raleigh area residents, or can people from, like, I traveled like the hour to hear Molly speak.
Yeah, you did. You did. That's so cool. Right now, it is in the in North Carolina we call the Triangle. So Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill kind of makes a little triangle. We are I live just outside of Raleigh, and so most of our events right now are taking place there. I would love to see this thing grow into other markets, because I've seen what it can do for women, and I've seen how God just works. He just does his thing. And it takes a little bit of effort on my part, a lot of effort on his part. And then, women show up. That's great. And they do every time. So I would love to see it grow. And but in the right time, in the right timing, it'll do what it's supposed to in the right time.
I mean, I can just see from that first time I went to the event to now the events that you have and the ask the experts, the virtual Bible study, all this. I mean, it's grown just a short time. And I think I heard Molly speak a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. I remember she was in October, and I think it might have been maybe a year and a half ago
Yeah.
ish. Yeah, she was an awesome speaker. But yeah, it has grown, and I have noticed, from its early days, I would know all the people, know all the faces, and now I've caught myself going, that's a new face, or that's it. I don't know all of the email registrations that come in. I used to recognize them all. I don't now. And so that's both good and a little bit of a challenge, because one of the things people love about Restored, we've done some survey work to say, like, what do you like? What do you not like? And one of the things that comes back every time we ask women is, what do you love about Restored? And they say the intimate feeling that's created with the small, I'll say small groups, but they love that it's not this massive big conference that they don't know anybody at. They can walk in and feel comfortable being like, hey, my name's Stephanie, and feeling engaged from there. So it is growing, and that is wonderful. And I think my personal challenge is, how can I help it to grow while also retaining that, kind of small town feel?
Yeah. That's kind of hard. Yeah. Patty said Molly was one of my first Restored events. So
Yeah.
Molly's a draw.
Yeah, she is. We've had such good speakers. We've had, around the same time Molly spoke, I think we had Emily Sexton from the Flourish Market. We had, I think Sharon Miller. She's an author. She's written a couple books. She was the very, very first Restored speaker. We've had Kelly Shiley, who's the CEO of Mary Square, which is a gifting kind of company. We have had Natalie Holmes. She did this thing in my lap. She designs these little like notebooks, like planner things for people who are extremely unorganized like myself. We've had a variety of people come in and speak. We've had very notable people too, which is so kind of people to just give their time to say, I want to support women too. Can I speak to you on something I know about? So people have talked management to just like kind of finding your niche. And what's the I had one recently that was really good. Oh, Priorities was really good. And just kind of finding yourself in the midst of chaos. A girl who owns a shop in this little town called Garner. It's called Little Details. Her name is Jessica, and she spoke on just her personal experience of like being a mom and going through some health challenges with her children, and how and just giving back, even in a time that was challenging for her, being able to give back into her community. And I think it's inspiring for women to hear that, because we all feel at one time or another, we're in some form of chaos, just pure chaos, and how we can thrive even in chaos is a bit of an inspirational message to hear.
Yeah. One of my favorite Christian writers, Nikki Koziark, says it's getting through the hard things during the hard times. Doing the hard things during the hard times is what gets you through. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good quote or like mindset. I was telling my mom had me come and speak at one of her like they have circle groups at the church that she goes to, and so she had me come speak that, and which is awkward to speak to women who raised you, right? Like I grew up in this church, and I was like, oh, you raised me to be who I am. How am I speaking to you about these things? But she had me come speak about Restored, which was fun, and one of the points I wanted to make was, like, we can do hard things, because let me tell you, I am trained in public relations. I worked in a large business. I worked in small agencies. I have not ever done what I'm doing now. And honestly, it terrifies me. I'm just like, I don't know how to like lead this giant group of women, and I don't have any training in like professional training and seminary or ministry, or, you know, I'm at a loss, right? And so I argued with God a lot about taking this on by myself, and just thinking like I'm not equipped to do this, and it will be hard, and I'm challenged too much by having this responsibility, but we can do hard things. And turns out it's not quite so hard when you don't feel like all the responsibility is on you. I'm like, I've been trying to have the mindset of, you know, God wanted this thing created. He kind of orchestrated, well, he definitely orchestrated all of these parts and pieces to come together so that it can exist and function. And so who am I to say no? So we're rolling with it. See what happens.
I like the way you're rolling with it. Now, where do you get your ideas for the speakers and for the topics for each month? Because I know each month you have a different topic.
Yeah, we do. So a lot of times it is a lot of times like, what do I need? What have I am either now or in my past been challenged by, and how can I address that for other women? And like I was saying earlier, we did some survey work. Like, what do you need, mama friends? And they will come up with some really good ideas for me. It is not by any means all of me that is creating this stuff. I read through every single survey that comes in because I want to know that the content, the events, the relationships that we're kind of producing are worthwhile for people. Working moms are busy. They do not have time to sit there and listen to a speaker that is not beneficial for them. Why? I could be at home with my family. I could be, working on the things that I've got to do at work tomorrow. Like, they don't have time for that. So let's make it worthwhile for them.
So let's walk me through a typical event for you, like from start to finish.
Okay. So, a typical table talk would be, we often meet at like a coffee shop or a local boutique or somewhere that has an atmosphere that's a little girly and a lot fun. And so people, if we're at a coffee shop, people can grab their coffee, they can sit down, and or they could even peruse the store if they want to get there a little early, stay a little later. So there's a benefit to a business owner who's hosting it, right? They can maybe secure some sales that way. And so their atmosphere is nice and calming and girly. And then we have a few minutes where people are just chatting, checking in with each other, introducing themselves. Then I'll make some introductions of the speaker. The speaker will talk for maybe 30, 45 minutes on whatever the topic is. It's usually like 30, and then they'll do some Q&A for maybe 15 minutes. Which the questions that these women come up with are always so awesome. I'm like, oh, I should have asked that. That's a really good question. So the speaker does their thing, and then everybody is split into tables. So there's maybe 4 to 6 people at a table, maybe 8. And we give questions out at each table that are intended to inspire conversation, not yes or no questions, and not questions that are going to be divisive, but intended to form unity and get you on the same page, or at least talking about the same page with the person beside you. So we'll ask questions related to what the speaker just spoke about. And this is how women come to know each other. And that is, every time we ask, that is the most valuable thing that attendees, they love that part. They're like, yeah, here's kind of the normal response. We might enjoy the speaker, but we come for the discussion. So that's the repeat. That's why they come back. So anyway, we'll do a little chit chats around each table. And then I'll close this out with maybe some announcements, or, giving people ideas of what the next events are going to be. And that is it. Like, I don't want to be a time waster, and I don't want people to be like, oh my gosh, I need to get home. So it's 2 hours max. And here's the other thing. you need to jet. It's fine. Nobody's going to judge you for that. We know you got things to do. If you need to come late and bring your, McDonald's dinner with you in a bag, it's fine. We try to be super flexible because you're working. You got lots going on.
Yeah, I love that. I will say anybody that has a chance to attend one of your events, they need to go. I mean, I got so much about the one that I attended, and I actually connected with you through that, started following you, and then and you actually were one of the women that I spotlighted in my Women in Business series on the blog.
That's right. That was fun. I liked that.
And then
think about the questions that you asked. Yeah.
Yeah. And then doing the online Bible study with you as well, you get to know a little bit more about the women because they're actually sharing more about their lives because they're talking about, like, I remember one woman said, yeah, my love language, my husband does it all. My husband does the cooking. My husband does the cleaning. I'm fine with it. I'm like, wow, I would be fine with it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he in a catalog somewhere? But I would say anybody needs to check out Restored for Moms because it's a great resource for moms. I just wish, like I said, there was more localized. There's more places like this for moms.
Yeah. Well, if you are watching and you want to start something, you just let me know. We will figure it out. But I appreciate your kind words. That's very sweet. And I do feel like there is a deeper relationship that's formed, when you're able to connect with like-minded women just in your same season. And it is what my experience has been, just for myself, even outside of kind of leading it, just participating in it. It's been a very safe space to express your thoughts and your feelings and anything you're struggling with, or to find out that you're not the only person struggling with a particular thing. That's usually the case. Usually you're made to think you're the only one, but y'all, 70% of women work. You're not alone. There's most likely somebody else out there that's got your same or a similar something going on.
Yeah, I always said that my blog, the whole main reason behind my blog was to let other people know they're not alone and that there's somebody out there that thinks just like them. And I don't know how many people have come up to me and said, I'm so glad you wrote that article because I think the same way. And I thought I was the only one that thinks the same way. So there's more than one woman out there like that. So
right. That's right. You never know. You gotta put yourself out there a little bit. Yep.
So what is up next for Restored for Moms besides your soiree in July?
Well, it's hard to plan too much in the future these days because you just don't know what's gonna pop up with current events, I guess. So right now, the July 31st is the next social event that we're having. So that will be different. That's different than the table talks that I just described. This is a social event. There's no speaker. It's a fun thing. I'm hopeful that in the fall we'll be able to resume some of the table talks, and we'll start the Bible study. We've got some other kind of partnership-y things that are in the works. What I would love to share with you right now, but I'm not able to. So, but just, stay tuned. I would say, to follow along with updates, there's the website, which is just restoredformoms.com. There's our Instagram handle, which is the exact same thing, Restored for Moms. And there's Facebook, which is the exact same thing. It's really easy, guys. Restored for Moms. So you can follow along there. And we've also got a digital newsletter that we'll send out with lots of updates and things. That way we have started profiling. And the healthcare crisis with COVID-19 has been just like devastating for a lot of people. For Restored, it has almost forced us to, you talked about pivoting earlier, it's forced us to do some things we were already wanting to do, like this online Bible study, like these digital resources. And another thing we've been wanting to do is to profile moms that are in our community. We started doing that last month. I think it was last month. And we've got another one of those profiles coming out this week. So that's, I guess, the immediate kind of new thing is that we'll be profiling moms, because the last thing I want this to be is the Stephanie show. I would much rather it be about the moms who make up this community and make it what it is than about myself. Like I said, I'm in PR. I would rather put somebody else out front and
you behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have a group that you work with? Or is it just you right now? Or do you have like employees or interns or
Well, my husband is my senior advisor. He's been supportive of this thing since day one, and so I could not do this without him. And so he stays in the background a lot, but he is constantly asking me, "Are you? Have you thought about this?" Or he's real good at strategy. So what are you doing? You know, when you're looking at this. So he's asking me the hard questions. And I also have this summer an intern that I love so much. Her name is Lauren, and she's been really helpful with the social media aspect of things because I'm old now and I don't really know. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. So she's been really helpful there, and on the blog, she's helping me with that a lot. But I do not have any employees. Maybe one day that would be really awesome. I would love to have a partner in crime, but for right now, just this girl.
that's amazing that you're able to create something like that with God's help and just basically like two other people really hands on to be able to create the kind of events that you create.
Yeah, yeah, it really has a lot less to do with me and a lot more with kind of how he wants to shape this thing up. So, so that's awesome. And I'm just really looking forward to what's yet to come. I'm waiting for some direction on a few things, and I'm excited about what the future holds for it, especially once we're able to gather safely again. I think it'll be a really interesting time because we will have that, and we will now have some digital components in place that we're able to kind of run in tandem with. So it'll be good.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to just any and coming to another event. Even though I know I'm not in the triangle, I'm pretty sure you won't turn me away if I show up, right?
Come on, my friend. Come on. I would love it. I would love for you to be able to come. Yes. I will not turn anybody away that wants to show their sweet face and talk about mama things.
And who knows, maybe somebody that's coming from another community show up and say, hey, this is really beneficial. Stephanie, I want to pair with you. Let's start another one in my community, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm open to all kinds of conversations that are beneficial for moms and those that are passionate about moms.
Well, I want to thank you, Stephanie, for coming on and talking about Restore for Moms because I think it's a great organization. Like I said, I fell in love with it. Well, I got introduced to it through Molly. I went to hear Molly speak because Molly's such a dynamic speaker. But then I
Yes.
started following you. I signed up for your newsletters, started following you on social media. And then when you did the Bible study, I was like, wow, this is such a great community of women to be around for, especially if you need support, no matter what walk of life you are in momhood.
Right. Right. I appreciate that so much. Like just the words of encouragement, words of affirmation right here all day long. That is so sweet of you. And I have found too that even if you're a person that is on the fringes of Christianity, like I would call you maybe faith interested and not like I am all about it all the time. Maybe check it out, right? And see if it's something that that sparks interest. And because again, like you just said, like all walks of life, we're all just in such different stages, but all kind of with that same on that same path of motherhood. And so I would say faith interested is a good place to be, to just check it out.
Yeah. I want to thank you again and thank
Thank you.
everybody for watching. And I hope you tune back in. And
Yes,
Stephanie
thank you
did
so
an
much,
amazing
Melissa.
job. I will tell you guys, Stephanie says I've only done one other Facebook Live, so she did an amazing job. So I'm giving her claps right now. You did an amazing
Thank you, thank you. I'm usually on the other side of the camera with putting other people in front. So thank you so much for your patience with me and learning how to do this.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.